Hey, what's happening? Well, we're in Tampa today for the Mobile Beat tour stop, and of course been going to these the last couple years. Went to Atlanta in 2009, went to Dallas last year, now decided to come to Tampa. So anyway, it's a pretty gloomy day here. I got some showers, thunderstorms. We got a tropical storm out in the Gulf, so that's contributing to a lot of this. But let me show you the view from my room here. Got a balcony right here, come out here and sit, nice. Got a pool down there, and this is looking back over the bay. That's Tampa Bay there, and way back over there in the distance is Clearwater. So it's got a causeway here right by the airport. So anyway, it's about 5:30 right now. We're going to walk downstairs and hopefully we'll run into some people we know. All right, we're downstairs now here at the Mobile Beat tour stop, and check this out. The American DJ lights over there. Got the galaxy going. We got the Spherian over there, up there in the middle. Well, check this out. Now that is awesome there. I like that. Creates a nice effect up there. Open networking time right now.
All right, Tampa, make some noise for me. That was kind of weak. Tampa, make some more noise for me. That was just a little bit better. Welcome, my name is Jake. I'm with Mobile Beat Magazine, so thank you very much for coming out tonight. Give yourselves a big round of applause for coming out. We have some notables in the crowd, especially the Tampa chapter of the American Disc Jockey Association. We have Stacey Knowles in the crowd from famous YouTube videos. Famous YouTube right there, Stacey Knowles. He came to, it was Dallas last year. He also came to Atlanta the year before that, and he's in Tampa. And you're from Jacksonville, right?
No, Pensacola.
You're from Pensacola. Pensacola right there in the Panhandle, so apologies about that. But anyway, this is the Mobile Beat Tour. How many of you guys came in 09 when we were here? Anybody raise your hands? Well, thanks for coming back again. So the rest of you guys, that mean you must be new. Anybody in the wrong place? I think there's a reunion across the hall. Anybody? We were going to be in there, but the air conditioner didn't work, so we're in here now. So anyway, there's food in the back. Please help yourselves and stuff, food and water in the back. What this tour is, by the way, how many of you guys subscribe to Mobile Beat Magazine? Raise your hands. All right. Thank you very much for subscribing. The rest of you guys, you need to subscribe. There are free issues out on the table, on the registration table out there with Seth. Please pick those up, check those out. You guys need to subscribe. It's $15 for a subscription for a year out there, which is a discounted price, which is awesome. So go out, subscribe. It's got great articles in there. It's got gear reviews in there. You've got stuff about new technology. You've got the learning curve right in there, right in that magazine, right out there. And speaking of Mobile Beat Magazine, this tour is a mini version of our Mobile Beat Las Vegas conference. Raise your hand if you've been out to Las Vegas to see us out there in February when we do our show. Okay, so about 60 of you, 70 of you, I think about 80 actually back there. But anyway, this is a mini version of that. That is a 4-day event, so that's a 4-day event which includes the seminars, the workshops, networking, we have performances, we have a large exhibit floor, but this is a mini version of this. So this is 2 presentations tonight, and the gear here is about 1/200ths of what we have out there. So this is about 1/200ths. We have a few different vendors here, which I'm going to get to in just a minute. If you'd like to know more about what usually happens at Las Vegas and about what the show floor usually looks like, we have last year's seminar schedule and also last year's conference map right outside, so when we do like the break and stuff, you go out and kind of look at that. Okay, so what tonight is, please give about a big round of applause to Arnaldo Offerman and Ben Stowe for joining us here tonight to present to you. Ben is going to be talking about the Hollywood effect, which is all sorts of lighting, which, talks about DMX, it talks about different lighting fixtures, it talks about different ideas, so it's very cool, and what kind of effect that can have on your business and how you can make extra money doing that. And then Arnaldo's going to talk about selling schools and marketing to schools, because he does very, very well at it, and we really like his stuff, and he is absolutely outstanding at what he does, and he's becoming an authority on that. So, very cool stuff. Please give a big round of applause to our sponsors for being here tonight. Our sponsors. You guys could do better than that. They came all the way to see it in Tampa. We have Pioneer DJ here, A DJ here, that's American DJ and the American DJ group of companies. EV is here, DigiGames, Mr. Rob Johnson is here with them, Line 6 microphones, and the Tampa Bay chapter of the American Disc Jockey Association. So the Tampa Bay chapter of the American Disc Jockey Association, here now to talk about them and what they could do for you at the local level. Please welcome the chapter president, Doug Shaw, up to the microphone. Thank you very, very much. As he said, my name is Doug Shaw. I'm chapter president of the American Disc Jockey Association for the Tampa Bay area. We stress local DJs, and we encourage each and every one of you to at least check us out and to maybe come to an upcoming meeting. Locally, we try to meet every other month. In our meetings, we try to go over various issues involving disc jockeys, disc jockey companies, education, resources, and we try to help each other too, because in this economy and in this world, the more help you get, the better all of us will do. And we shadow each other. We'll talk to each other about equipment. If you have equipment problems, we help with it. We just took a night out for our chapter, rented a limo, and went to the Rays Yankees game. We try to do that at least once a year. A little camaraderie. If somebody has a breakdown, we have a hotline that if you are at an event, the DJ doesn't show up, you can call the hotline and we'll have somebody there within an hour and a half to take over and bail out for the person who did not show up. We really try to be helpful. We're trying to make a difference. We're trying to improve the quality of disc jockeys in the area. We encourage each and every one of you to check us out, the website adja.org, or talk to one of us, national membership and local membership. There are a lot of different incentives and a lot of different benefits, and you get Mobile Beat magazine as part of your membership, and it is a great magazine, provides a lot of good learning opportunities, and seriously, if you haven't been to Vegas, you need to go to Vegas and see the show and listen to all the speakers. Jake is underselling how great that is, and they've been doing it for a long time, and they bring in a lot of quality speakers. Anyway, we'll have several breaks. Feel free to contact me. Our next meeting is in September. If you want, please sign up outside in the hallway. We'll make sure you get invitations to our next meeting. Part of the meeting will be covering Beat Mixing 101 for those of you who have never done it. And for those of you who have done it all the time, you can help the guys who are just getting started.
Ooh, is there supposed to be a decimal place in there somewhere? I mean, you know, there's a teacher, actually I had a school, the teacher is the DJ and he does it for like, you know, free. So, you know, how do you compete with that? Well, there's a lot of different ways to do it. And basically I'm going to talk to you how to reach these schools, how to be able to talk to them, and furthermore, why you should snack every DJ that charges $3.95 for schools upside the head, and I'll show you about that in just a moment. Now, one of the things that I did is I took the presentation that I've been doing and I specifically geared it towards the Tampa market, because lo and behold, that's where we're from. Well, I embarrassingly wait for my Mac to load this up. Kelly, no one jokes about the Mac. So again, what we did is we have a completely different division called 4 Schools Only. It's its own company. You know, 5 years ago we had 10x10 stick trussing, 2 video screens. It was called the Digital DVD Experience, and boy, we were awesome. It was great. It was like a $1,500 package. We were on the high end. Some schools would still shy away from that. The light show was grand. It was 4 color washes and the pocket scans. You guys remember those little pocket scan lights? 5 years later, and this little setup the setup you saw there, that's what we're bringing out. Well, one of the many setups. So again, that was about 5 years ago. The range was from $300 to $500. Today's market range is $300 to $11,000. That means there are still DJs out there charging $295. And yes, I've already done the research. There are schools not even an hour from here that are paying $295 for a homecoming. That would have been great back in never. Our price ranges start from $1,500 to $11,000. So it's not like we're charging these huge packages every time and you have to be a multi-op and have lots of capital. You can go out there and go with, you know, a good amount of equipment, and even if you're not charging $11,000, there's no reason that you should be charging $395. I think the janitors get paid more than that to clean up the dance. Our average price range for the last prom season was $4,500. Actually, prom and homecoming combined, I'm sorry. And as far as school events per weekend, we do 2 to 4. We know there's a couple multi-ops here, some single ops. If you're a single op, you're probably not going to knock out 2 to 4, but hey, a $2,500 school event or a $5,000 school event that happens again and again, it's a recession-proof business. I know that with some weddings you may have a bride that gets married again and again and again, but stay away from those. So first of all, to enter the school market, you gotta have a few prerequisites. First one is big brass jog wheels. Now, 2 things by that. One, you gotta have equipment. You can't just go out there with, you know, a little 10-inch speaker, no subs, no lights, and expect to charge that kind of money right away. As a matter of fact, if you don't have some sort of decent light show and decent mixing skills and decent DJing skills, get those first before you enter the school market. You're doing yourself a disservice by offering subpar equipment, and you're also doing everybody else around the area a few steps back, so we don't like that. Serrated knife to cut throats. Now I'm not talking about price-wise. What I mean by that is that if you're struggling with school dances, or let's say that you're not doing very good at school dance, the students are going to tell you. They're going to tell you, dude, you suck. You're not going to hide that back. The teachers are kind of sort of like that. They're going to tell there are people that you suck, but they're not going to tell you. National conferences out there where all the homecoming and prom sponsors get together and exist. They're little secret societies. They do exist, and they do talk about them. One of the schools we just booked specifically found out about us from a national conference. Just got a school, actually called from Atlanta, or from an Atlanta school before I left for the tour, who found out about us also through these national conferences. So believe me, if you don't think they're talking about you behind your back, they most certainly are. So make sure they're talking good things. So be ready for that, grow a thick skin. You know, we're all DJs, you're supposed to grow a thick skin and not be easily offended. Those of you that know me know that I've somehow managed to offend hundreds if not thousands of DJs. They need a thicker skin. Roadies. If you don't have roadies, get some. This is not fun having to set all this up, and then you perform, and then you break it down solo. You are going to destroy your back halfway through. All the setups that you've actually seen, the ones that I've worked with, my wife, who is somewhere around here, she's been the one that helps me set everything up, as well as our crew. Same thing, you know, whenever Kelly goes out to a school event, we're not setting all this up by ourselves. That would involve me not being lazy. Have somebody to help you set everything up. And also, when you are DJing at school dances, apparently not just with schools, with events in general, as soon as you put your headphones on, that's the cue for people to go and bug the heck out of you. At least you have somebody like, yes, can I help you? I want to talk to the DJ. Yeah, no, talk to me. Have a bouncer kind of thing. Teenager. What I mean by that is that if you're not comfortable dealing with high school students, get somebody that is. You can just be in charge of the company per se. And a patience for a volatile music market. As you know, today's music isn't getting much more enjoyable to listen to. And I like rap, but if I hear Lil Wayne, one more time, I'm going to murder somebody. If you don't enjoy today's music, you're not going to enjoy doing these school dances. And just like every event, if the DJ's not having fun, it's going to permeate out on the dance floor.
Right over here on the right side of the room.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Well, thank you very much.
Alrighty. Well, I'd like to introduce myself. My name is Jeff Stoyer. I work for Salesforce. Salesforce is a rep firm that has repped many, many different lines over the years. We did graduate up to Electro Voice several years ago. I worked for a lot of other speaker companies, including Tannoy, which is actually in the Oxford English Dictionary, which is pretty cool as a definition. It means public address or sound system. And the only other company that even holds a candle to the age of that first company I mentioned is Electro Voice. Electro Voice has been around 1 year longer, so they were incorporated in 1927, which is pretty darn cool. And Electro Voice actually was named by one of the most famous football coaches out there on the planet. His name was Newt Rockne, if anybody's ever heard of him. Very, very famous football coach. And that was because a demonstration was done back before PA existed, and he coined the term. He said, if you boys don't listen to me, I'll get my electric voice back out here. And they patented it, which is actually really cool. So, that being said, we just want to talk about some products and let you know a couple of cool things about some of these loudspeakers that we brought out here. You guys may know Electro Voice as a company that a lot of people save up to, and they get there eventually. It's not usually your first loudspeaker, just like you might save up for your BMW or your Mercedes or your Lamborghini or whatever else it is that you'd like to own. But Electro Voice is now owned by a much larger company. You guys may have heard of them. They're called Bosch. They make power tools, they make dishwashers, they make spark plugs, they make a lot of cool products. And now they own Electro Voice, and all the subsidiary brands below them like Telex. Bosch, in addition to it, we're playing at a price point we've never played at before, which could be up to 30 to 40% less than you expect it to be, which is actually really cool. So this is the family. You've got power products, and you've got passive products. And that's it. So now that you've seen the family, why did we do it? We did it for a couple of reasons. If it doesn't jump too far ahead on me. There we go. It's the right product for disc jockeys specifically. Value-driven performance. And then we're going to use that word again, value, ease of use. We use value twice because we don't want you to miss it. We talked about price points and value. This is
the alcohol's gone to your head. I feel underdressing the speed of this. I don't know how to dance, but I'll try my best. Either you live your life or you sit with me, swallow the good life. Go
good full range example. Can we do another track?
Yeah, sure.
Something with a little bang. Also, guys, feel free, if anybody wants to stand up and take a look and see if we're clipping or where the signal lights are, it's okay to stand up during the demo. You don't have to sit there. I always like to point out that your voice can still be there, significant, and separated. $5.99, $7.99, $79. Have a nice day.
Jeff Stiller of Electro Voice right here. Real quick, because we got to get to a break before we go on with the night tonight. So I'm going to give just a couple giveaways now, and then we have some awesome giveaways to give away later.
Okay, we're taking a little break right now. It's about just a little after 8 o'clock, and getting ready to have some more speakers here in just a little bit. Ben Stowe's getting ready to talk about some lighting, so that's going to be fun. But anyway, wanted to go ahead and just take a look at the lights here. It's pretty cool. If there's a Spherian. Got all the different lights here. They have the Galaxian Gobo as well. I had one here a second ago. Yeah, there it is on the wall. I'm going to see it a little bit. Yeah, there it is. Now that's something I want to get. That's going to be one of the lights I plan on using my next project.
Handheld. There are lavalier microphones. There are headsets available as well. They also have the V30s. Now the difference is this is a 300-foot range, and the V30s are a 100-foot range. And the cool thing about these as well, as you can see, I don't know, the people in the front row could probably see this, but this top capsule actually screws off. So if you like Shure microphones or EV microphones, you basically can swap the whole top cap with another brand of microphone if you want to use the digital, technology and everything that doesn't operate in that 700 megahertz band. As a matter of fact, it operates on the same band that Wi-Fi occupies. So very, very cool. Now, if you don't want to go ahead and swap out the top part right here, that's okay, because the system actually has an emulator. So you can actually go to the menu on the transmitter right here and pick if you want it to sound like an SM58, or if you sound like an EV, or if you want it to sound like a Heil, or if you want to sound like a Sennheiser. So very, very cool stuff. So if you like those sounds, then please go up and check this out. The Line 6 sound is what we're using right now, the Line 6 proprietary sound. Very, very cool stuff. Like I said, they've got the headsets, they've got the lavaliers, and they've also got the V30. The V30 retails, and like I said, that's the 100-foot one. It's got the same technology, but only 6 channels to choose from. This has 12 channels to choose from, so just a little bit different of a kind of range and everything like that. But the V70s, like I'm talking into, are rack mounted. The V30s are not rack mountable, but the V30s are $300, and that's retail, just a little under $300. The V70s that I'm talking into are just a little under $500. So great quality microphone for a little bit less than $500. So please make sure you check them out. Another thing that we have here tonight, which is unique to this stop, we don't have it on any of the other stops that I'm aware of. Well, maybe it might go really well tonight. Maybe they might want to jump on with the rest of the tour with us. Isn't that right, Doug?
That's right.
That is right. This is Firetex right up here. So at Mobile Beat Las Vegas during the America DJ party, actually, where Naughty by Nature was performing, they were up on the screens, and it was very cool because they were texting up shout-outs and stuff like that. Tonight, people are texting up, the names of the DJ companies, shout-outs, that kind of stuff too. Very cool. It's totally customizable, as you can see, different pictures up here, or say if it's like a club, or say it's like a high school, you could put up pictures, from throughout the night, and totally customize the screens and stuff. But I'm going to let Doug talk all about it. Ladies and gentlemen, once again, please welcome up to the stage Doug Shaw to talk about the new product, Firetex.
Thank you, Jake. Give a DJ a microphone and he'll talk forever. But I won't talk that long. Actually, Firetex is a product that's been around for a while. There are several different texting programs available. The thing that made this important and valuable to me is the variety that you can use it for. It will take text, it'll take picture messages. You can also send Twitter and set it up to where you can send tweets and they will show up on the screen. You can send emails and emails will show up on the screen. You can have this connect to a website. You can have it connect to a Facebook page. It will take Bluetooth, reception. Some of the nightclubs we work at with photographers will take pictures, send it up to a cloud, and we can retrieve them from the cloud and put them up on the screen.
Without further ado, please give a big round of applause for Rick.
All right, thank you. How you guys doing? So, how many people already own or use American DJ products? Raise your hands. That's a whole bunch of you. Okay, how many guys use something other than American DJ? Raise your hands. That's respectable. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there. Chalamet and NBT, and there's a bunch of other companies that are out there doing stuff. There's a family of products. If you've heard that this evening, it's American DJ family of products. So we actually make the DJ stuff, which is the lighting stuff that you see. We have an audio company, which a lot of people don't realize that we do, which is called American Audio. So we have some controllers, we make rack mount CD players, power amps, we make powered and unpowered speakers. Not as fancy as the EV guys that are over there, but you know, we're working on that. And we have AccuCable, which is a cable company, so we make instrument cables for musical instruments, like guitar cables, things like that. Speaker cables. We make DMX cable, which is the special cable, looks like a mic cable, for those of you guys that are not really so much into the lighting. And that controls the data, sends the information between the controllers to the lights. So we have that as well. We have Ariba, which is a bag, mainly a bag and case company. So you can store all these fancy little doodads and carry them around so they don't get all banged up and scratched up. So we have that. And then we also have Lamplight, which is a manufacturer of lamps that kind of go into most of these things, unless they're LED. And we have Global Truss, which this isn't Global Truss, this is actually made by American DJ, but Global Truss is basically the big heavy-duty stuff that you'll see with touring companies and in nightclubs, houses of worship, and that sort of stuff. They come in chrome, like it's natural aluminum, black, and some different types of colors and stuff, and they make all the fancy circles and stuff that look like snakes and just long music. They'll buy this stuff. Some of them even have fog machines in there. It's not a good idea, but we're it's electric equipment, but they'll do it. It's whatever it takes, you know, to kind of make the music. So we have, I don't know how many products do you think a company would come out with on a yearly basis? You know, when you think about cars, you think about just any type of a product, even maybe a company that makes TVs, how many products do you actually think they come out with a year? Anybody? Come up with a number?
100. 35.
100? 100 cars? I don't know about 100 cars, but
Might be 100 different models of TV though.
okay, maybe TV might not be a good idea because there might be a lot. I don't know. 100 TVs?
I'd say 10.
Yeah, each brand might come out. So we have a lot of those products. A lot of the older models of some of the round bar cans and even the strip lights, some of them are about 1 meter long, or they're about 3 feet. And we have a new version of that. It's the same price. The price hasn't changed, but now they have basically where you can, you know, it's wireless. So you can still hook up your DMX cable to them and control them with the controller, but you also have, a kid loves this thing. It's like, you know, you're gonna detonate a bomb or something like that. You know, black ops stuff. So, but you have a couple simple buttons on there. You can turn it on and off, turn different presets and different things like that. So a lot of the products that we have now are starting to have wireless capability included. And then some of them are optional. You can buy this as an option if you want it. They can all still be run by sound, and then a lot of them will just be also run by DMX, and you can choose the control if you want. Anybody have any questions at this time about anything I've talked about so far? No? Okay. Anything here kind of interest you guys, or anybody want to see some of the extra things that we have on here? Let me see here. I can kind of turn some of these on. Let's see. Depends on. This little guy here was amazing. Most people, it's a laser, and we got another one over here on the end. And most people say, hey, well, that's a really cool looking light. And it's like, well, it's actually a laser. And lasers, as you know, usually are pretty expensive. They'll run in the $300 range, and they'll go up into the thousands and tens of thousands for the big ones that they do. If you've ever been to Stone Mountain in Georgia, they shoot on the side of the mountain. Looks like the generals from the Civil War galloping on horses. That's super high-powered stuff. But this is like 99 bucks. It comes with a little remote. That's the one that I had with the antenna on there. So kind of, you know, throws, it's pretty bright. That's the whole thing. It's pretty impressive because it's pretty bright. It's not like the thing that you can go buy at Spencer's or something in the mall. You throw in your room. I mean, this is like it'll throw across the room and light it pretty good. It's all made out of metal. It's not plastic or anything, so it's pretty good stuff. We've got our jelly dome over here. Let's see. I think this is this guy here. Yep. All right. So this is all. They call it the jelly dome because it's got like a translucent body and it'll spin, kind of pick up. You know, it's all LED. It's amazing what we're doing now. LEDs are also getting a lot brighter now. As some of the other guys that were speaking earlier this evening, we're talking about the benefits of LED. There's less power consumption. Your electric bill is way down. There's like almost no heat pretty much. I mean, they might barely get warm, so there's no fire hazards. A lot of you guys that maybe work in a hotel, there's pipe and drape, as they call it. The backdrops a lot of times on the stage, and they want to light the actual curtains or the drape. They usually use a fire retardancy material on there so that they don't like catch fire, but I've seen them actually catch on fire and smoke and everything because the drape will land on one of those hard cans that actually has a halogen lamp on it, and it's just like the stove. I mean, it's cooking. Next thing you know, you see like smoke coming from there, and you got to walk over and you've singed your drape. Well, you don't have to worry about that with all these LED things. I mean, it's I can hold on to this. You guys are more than welcome to come up here if you want later on and touch these things. You're not going to break them or anything, and they don't put out any heat whatsoever. They've kind of changed a lot of the technology. It's gotten better. The LEDs, like on this little controller here, where you just see that little green light there, and they have some of them that are a little bit, eighth of a watt, quarter of a watt, 1 watt LEDs, and now here you're starting to see like 3 watt LEDs. So they're bigger, they're brighter, and they're becoming more and more equivalent to the old incandescent fixtures that they use on the stage that people know that you can buy for like $50, and we still sell those. But again, they're hot. If you want to tear down at the end of the evening, you got to pull them out right away first and foremost because they got to cool down, otherwise you burn yourself. And then you don't want to put it in a case or something that's still warm. You're worried about stuff melting. You could even sell it to people if you're having a wedding. You could have, a happy birthday to somebody or something. You can put their name and have it engraved on it, and then you just basically change it. You stick it in there, and then you project it around the room where you have the party. Just that extra little touch, and you can charge for it, so you can make some extra money. You can save the gobbo. So if there's another guy by the name of Michael that had a birthday, and 2 months down the road, you pull out the Michael gobbo, put it back in, no cost. So it's all profit at that point. So with the lights and the lasers, we got quite a variety of different things. We've got controllers, and we got audio stuff here. We're really excited about what we're doing with audio. The VMS4, which is this.
Staffers and technicians and post-production and all these things are happening, but the camera is just focused here. Okay, that's what we see. But all these things are occurring behind the scenes. And when we watch those scenes and we feel those emotions, we don't really care about this, do we? That's not why we went there, right? If we want to see that, we watch it behind the scenes. But when we watch the movie, we want to be entertained. Okay? Well, the same is true with our clients. Here's an example. Here we have a fairly typical, wedding venue, I guess, a ballroom, we'll say. And courtesy of my good friend Reed Boyd down in Midland, Texas, we're going to spice it up Texas style for you. And look at that. All right, hang on here. You maybe missed the part about me going on 3 hours of sleep and riding around with these fellas. So let's try a little exercise. Can I get an ooh? Ooh. Can I get an ah? Ah. All right. I appreciate it. Even if the jokes stink, because they probably will, just chuckle a little bit. Make me feel like I'm part of something here. That's right. I think that's in here too. There's the laugh track somewhere. All right. Thank you, Reed. Ooh. Hey, look at this! You know what? Bob, there's a reason I love Tampa. True story. Not just because I get to take pictures with my dinosaur on the beach last year, but that's a whole other story. I made a lot of money there last year.
How was your best customer?
You never seen a geek get his groove on? All right, we'll talk about some more of that later, I think. Well, this could be exciting. This could be my favorite stop. It's gonna be like After Dark at Ben Stowe, you know. So. And she's like, holy crap, a funny geek. What's going on? This can't be happening. I don't know, maybe I'm still sleeping in the back of the truck and I imagined all this, I don't know. They like me, they really do. All right, to the point, here we go. Now, we got the same room, okay? And what Reed's done here is he's put a gobo on the wall. We call them, we'll call them a monogram. You know, brides and grooms, everybody don't call them gobos, they're not theater lighting techs. I don't care what they call it, just sign a contract, right? So if they want to call it a monogram, that doesn't matter. Gobo, we're not gonna worry about changing their vocabulary, we just want to provide their stuff for them. By the way, you were mentioning those custom gobos. I know a place you can get those, by the way.
Excellent.
Just throwing that.
Tell us, where can we get those?
Well, there's this little place called Halifax, sells them for $59, custom steel, usually ships the next day. So, well, moving on. All right, fine. We've got our monogram on the back wall. We've got some LED uplights, probably American DJ though. We've got some low-lying fog here. We call it atmospherics. We've got a spotlight in the bride and groom. And you know what? She doesn't care. Right? She doesn't care. She doesn't care what we use. She doesn't care how many man hours it took or how many feet of cable it took or, you know, what you call this darn thing on the wall. She cares about what's in frame. She cares about this right here and her guests taking in this right here. It's that emotion. It's the experience. It's how we make this moment feel. That's what she wants. Right? Amen. Can I get an amen? Amen. Oh, I love Tampa. Fort Lauderdale's going to stink tomorrow. They can hold a candle. You guys. Of course, I'm going to say the same thing about you guys down there. So, no, I'm just kidding. I do like Tampa, and you know, Howard and Bob and Rob and all those folks will testify to that. All right, here's another example, courtesy of my good friend Jason Yoshino down in Sioux Falls, South Dakota. We got a room that's nice and beautiful and decorated, and we're going to put a little more kick to it, just like this. These are some of those lights you and I were talking about, by the way. You guys rule, seriously. Just some LED uplights. We got some maybe some pin spots on the centerpieces. After Dark with Ben Stowe, I told you. No holds barred. All right, so I've been using this picture for a couple years, and actually somebody else pointed this out to me, that it also appears he's welding on the gas tank. Wow! Hey, listen. If this seems like a good idea to you, just wait, because I got another picture, and then I think we're going to have to conference a little bit, okay? Take a look at these fellas. Now, what we've got here is a couple fellas out for an afternoon having a good time, chilling in the pool. Of course, every good picture like this involves beer. And it appears that everything is working because these guys are smiling, but what we have here is the radio in the center of the pool, powered by what can only appropriately be called a surge strip. And it appears to be floating on a pair of flip-flops, yeah. Wow, now, hey, folks, let me tell you what.
What's the problem with that?
I'm glad you asked.
Do not attempt this at all.
I'm glad you asked. He said, what's the problem with that? Listen, I'll come to that in a second. Folks.
National record release party.
Man, you're in Florida. You're really going to have to dumb this down for them.
All right. Thank you, Arnoldo. I'm in your backyard. Thank you, brother. Folks, I want to tell you, I have in my pocket a Minnesota electrical license. But I really hope you don't need an electrical contractor's license to figure out why this is a bad idea. Okay? Now, this is a public service announcement, and you ask, what's wrong with that? Now, I know you're pulling my leg, but just in case you're not, if anybody really doesn't know the problem with this, I beg you, I'm serious. I'm absolutely serious as the death they could incur. Please come talk to me afterwards. We'll hold up the truck for as long as it takes for me to explain to you that electricity will always take the shortest path to ground, and the secret to a long and happy life is to never be the shortest path to ground. Okay? We all cool on that? All right. Wow. Thought I was going to pass out. Woo. Now, I don't really care what you use, honestly. But I wanted you to know, they're not the same. And while there's a lot of misinformation out there, I don't blame you for having heard it, or even if you believe it. It comes from, I would say, one of two sources. This is an opinion, so your mileage may vary. Take what I have to say with a grain of salt, but I just want to share my opinion. When selling this to a client, remember what we're selling. We're selling the experience. We're not selling a rental list. You know, again, I don't think we want to invest time to educate our clients on what each piece of equipment even means and justify why we have 382 feet of cable and 42 man hours and whatever, blah, 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 blah. Because you're just getting into a bit of maybe nitpicking is the word. And I think there's some danger there. Again, these are just my opinions, but I think there's some danger there where a client might say, well, I see you've quoted me 26 park cams. Well, wouldn't 30 be better? Maybe not. You know, maybe more is too much, and it ruins the effect. Now, probably your client's going to go the other way with it, right? You know, what if I wanted 20? What if? You don't have the same effect. You know, you've paid off my canvas. So I just wouldn't get into it. I say, you know, dear future Mr. and Mrs., I've done the math, I'm an expert, I'll listen to this guy from Minnesota who's a gosh darn genius, and I've figured this out. And first time I threw that in, but it felt kind of good. And, you know, I've looked at your venue, and I've done the math, I've done the calculations, and I can deliver to you the experience that you want, the emotion that you want for you and your guests, and it's going to cost X, Y, Z. If they say, what can you do for less? Well, I can't do that, right? Then you can get into the what can you do part. Now, how do we sell it? How do we demonstrate that? Here's a couple thoughts. Let's say that you're not doing lighting at all right now, and you want to go out and show it to clients, but of course you have nothing in your resume to show them. The easiest way is to show them a picture, of course. So this is what I did at this event, this is what I did at that event, but if you haven't done it, you don't have any pictures. So what to do? We'll just go on the internet and steal some. No, kidding, of course. No. Yeah, seriously, please don't do that. That is not only disrespectful, it's illegal. You know, but there are many people out there who are gracious enough to share their photos with you if you ask, and they'll offer to you some of these resources. However, please, if you look at some of the pictures we're going to see right after this, or you see take some of the pictures that we've shown you earlier, and you represent that to a client, make doggone sure you can do that, because that's what you told them you could do. All right, so we got to be honest with our clients. It's very important. Honesty is very important to me. Now, here's another way we can maybe go about this. Take a venue, hall like this. Take a wedding director or coordinator, florist, caterer. Everybody wants the same thing, right? What's everybody want?
Money.
Money, the gig. We all want the job. So maybe, this is again just an opinion and a wild, crazy thought, everybody get together. Say, listen, we'll come into your room and we'll decorate it for you. And the caterer's going to bring in some hors d'oeuvres, and the florist's going to do their thing, whatever, and the coordinator, blah, 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 blah. And then we'll, you know, host it. We'll invite a whole bunch of future brides and grooms to come in and look at this, and we'll show them, you know, lights on, lights off, lights on, lights off. You know, now we also have some pictures, don't we? So that's just a thought. I don't know. Maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but that's a thought. Who wants to see some more pictures? Well, maybe we can skip it. It's up to you. I mean, you know. Who just wants to get to the giveaways? Hey, I appreciate you being honest with me. All right, these are courtesy of my friend Bo Kramer out of California, and here we have our room. Here we have our room after Bo's done his thing. Yeah. Bo's happy too because he got a nice payday. He's got some pin spots up here, some lights on the walls, and he's given that room a whole different attitude, right? How about this one? I like this. Is a cool room anyway. I mean, this is a cool room anyway. Not just because it has alcohol in it, but you know, but it's a cool room anyway. We can make it cooler. Yeah. Heck yes. Heck yes. And our last one, we got this room. It goes from yellow to pink and blue. Look at that. I mean, monogram, gobo, us of course. Our up lights, hinge spots.
Where's his monogram?
Well, good morning. It's about 11:40 now on Thursday morning. Of course, we had the Mobile Beat tour stop here in Tampa last night. And I must mention, this is about my third or fourth time recording this wrap. I had left my camera inside all night. Of course, when you come from a air-conditioned hotel room out on a balcony where it's hot and humid. It tends to fog over, so I had to leave the camera out here for a little bit so the lens wouldn't be fogging over anymore. But first of all, before I talk about the conference last night, let me just show you the view again. And of course today it's a lot better day than it was yesterday. There's not a whole lot of clouds out there, and you can look out here over the view, or over the bay rather. Got a nice balcony here, and really nice place. I'm really glad that they chose to have the conference here yesterday. Of course, down there's the pool, and that bridge over there, that of course is going back over toward Clearwater, and the Gulf of Mexico is back over there on the other side of all those buildings as well. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about what happened last night at the Mobile Beat Tour Stop. It went great. Ben Stowe did a great job. Arnaldo did a great job as well, talking about school dances. And you know, I was talking to Jake Feldman about this last night before I left, and we were talking about how it was really nice that we actually had 2 seminars this time instead of 3 like they have in the past, and that actually gave a lot more time for the vendors to actually show off some of their stuff that they had, like the American DJ demonstration. That was really neat, seeing all the lights. You saw that, and of course the different kinds of speakers and everything else. It was just a really great evening, and I think it was real positive. I think this is one of the best, if not the best, tour stop that I've ever been to. Now, I want to mention to you, okay, if you want to get a taste of what Las Vegas is like, what Mobile Beat Las Vegas is like, go to one of these tour stops in your area, okay? They're going all over the United States. They're going to be in Fort Lauderdale tonight. They're going to be, I think, going to Buffalo on Monday, and touring the Northeast next week, and they're going to be doing the Midwest, I think. And then they're going to be going to, Phoenix and out in California and places like that. So they're going to be going all over the United States. You need to find one that's close to you. And of course, you can't beat the price. It's free to go to. And you get a little sample of what Mobile Beat Las Vegas is like. And, you know, for me, I think that it's a great marketing opportunity. And I also think it's a great opportunity to grow your business. You get to learn a lot. And you know what? I'm all for learning anything that's going to help grow your business. So go find a tour stop close to you. Go to mobilebeat.com and check out all the dates there. It's going to be an awesome time. And go to it, and you can see what Mobile Beat Las Vegas is going to be like. And then join us out in Las Vegas, February 6th through the 9th next year at the Riviera Hotel and Casino in beautiful Las Vegas, Nevada. So I'm going to go ahead and get checked out, and we'll talk to you soon. Practice and enjoy.